We are coming to you live from an undisclosed location atop the Rocky Mountains in the beautiful Pacific Northwest of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dark Wolf's Den. I am Dark Wolf. We're joined today by an old channel friend of ours. He's been on here a couple times with us, and we're always glad to have him. Ladies and gentlemen, Susso's here with us today. How you doing, Susso?
I'm great. Best day of my life. I'm not tired yet. This will be my third show today. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So far, so good. I haven't had the many electronical problems like.
Uh-oh.
What, you froze?
One of us did. There we go. We're back now.
Good.
So you're a streaming machine today then. 3 shows already. How many you got planned?
Let's see. After you, it's Michelle's Opinions at 2. 4 o'clock is Photo Helix on my channel. 8 o'clock is Unbiased and on the Fence on his channel. And Nobleness D, I just talked to him in Armor, and I had Awakened Saint earlier, and Nobleness D told me he's going to try and get me on Scarab Performance's channel. I'm like, okay, if I got time. He said he could drag me over there. And then late night I'm going to be on Cowboy's channel. And I have 3 videos I still need to put out, and I have them planned. One of them's 2 hours long. I'm hoping after Photo I could probably slip that in between Photo and Unbiased, so I can go eat or go find my cat.
Tell us now. So tell us why you're doing this. Why are you going every single channel day and do this whole streamathon?
My initial thought was just to do something special. I thought about just doing a live stream and inviting people on throughout the day. I kind of got that idea from Photo when I was talking with him, and then I thought, well, I kind of already started to plan things. I just thought 3 years of posting, I was putting together some of my old videos for this day, putting the top 10 best hits, the least 20 hit videos, and I'm watching them and I'm thinking, wow, 3 years ago I was talking about going to a baseball game just to look at the people, not even sure if they're really there, if I'm the only one in my dimension. I'm like, wow, I was talking like that then. I'm just repeating my ideas and myself, and I'm interacting with other people. And I've said on the other channels, this is good. Even if we don't agree, it's great if we don't agree. We just need to listen, and we need to get the people who aren't on board with each other just to listen to each other. You don't have to be right. Nobody's right here anyway, So it's like we really need to. I kept saying in my last video or 2 videos ago that we need to learn how to I was saying create. It could be we need to learn how to deal with this individually so we can learn how to deal with it on a collective scale. My wording is create. I still feel that we can create if we're doing it properly. If it's failing, it's because we're not doing it properly, because I really didn't believe it. That's part of the equation, I mean, I had a little bit of doubt. I told my neighbor, he doubts it. That's it. It's over. You can't do it that way. You need to keep that belief, that knowing, okay, that faith. You have to know it, and then you'll create. And I've tested it and succeeded and failed. And I'm still a believer that can happen. But that's on an individual level. So I want to know how to do it individually, so when we can do it collectively, I'll be right there along with it. Because right now, collectively, I'm still going with that flow, that timeline, that dimension, whatever it is. I'm still in that collective. Okay, the flying tomato thing ain't going to happen. People flying ain't going to happen. That's not within this collective as even a possibility. So I was just putting those thoughts out and all these things, and I'm realizing, wow, I said that and I said this, and there's some things I wish I didn't say, but that's the progression of me growing, so that's fine. There was a couple of times I was sure. I was like, yes, it's this way, and then a couple of videos later, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how I could have possibly have said that. I don't know. Okay. I think it's this way. This is my opinions because of my experiences. This is what I've deduced. But I still don't know. That's just my perspective. So putting out doing this today, big mistake. Now I gave myself no time to take breaks or anything else in between. I'm just going to be yapping all day. I should be sitting in a hot springs right now, just enjoying myself. Um,
Is
yeah,
the
it was
snow
just,
finally melting over there?
it was just, it stopped. It snows all the time. I mean, it's ridiculous. Still snowing. But it was just too, my initial thought was I'm going to take a break from posting. So let me do this. I almost did it last month, and I said, yeah, I got this 3-year anniversary coming up. Maybe I'll do something special for that, and let me try that. And that's what it got into. And now my birthday's coming up, so like the day before my birthday, I might open up a live stream, send you a link. I'll send everybody, all the bigger channels that are doing these things, send them a link. Have them all come in at the same time. Just say hello. We ain't even got to talk about nothing. I mean, and if I could do that once a week and put some super big channels on there, maybe something will spark. Maybe somebody will click. Maybe two people that just never met don't talk to people. And it's a shame. I wanted to mention on the last show because Nobleness asked me who were all the early channels, and I forgot to mention. Let me shout him out here. Sean Indigo, he was one of the early ones too.
Mm-hmm.
When I was catching his thing, and I've spoken with him, had him on my channel. I think I emailed him to get him on today sometime, but I was running out of room. So, but yeah, we a lot of people that were in between. I'd love to name all the people I wanted to get on, but I'm just going to put their links, like I said, in a live video next week or 2 weeks from now or whatever. See if people pop in. I think that'll be fun. But one of the reasons I was doing this was because I really didn't think I'd be posting anymore or that much, because I really feel like I'm going to I got to experience it out there, not in front of the computer.
Of course.
I need to go test things out there. I could test them here and start creating, and let me create this online and that online or whatever. I got to get out there and do it physically for me personally to know if I'm doing it right or wrong. Or because if it's not something we can do, I need to know that so I can move on to the next thing and stop hammering on something that's just not possible. I mean, but I feel it is, so I want to do it. I want to get it. I think we're in kindergarten. I think that's what it is. I think we're still learning.
Let me interrupt you real quick. First off, congratulations on 3 years on the channel.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's what we're mainly here to celebrate today. So congratulations on that. That is absolutely amazing.
I want to make it fun.
I'm just over 2 years myself, and I love it. I don't do it as much as I should or as much as I want to right now. I'm getting an equipment upgrade here in the next month or so. I wasn't even going to do an interview yet until I got the upgrade, but I already had the schedule, so went ahead and did it. But I got a whole brand new system coming, upgrading the whole thing. We'll be able to stream straight out of OBS after this, the whole 9 yards.
It's the third time I heard OBS today, maybe even the fourth time. I have no idea what that is. Never even heard of it.
OBS is open broadcast software. It's what I use to do all the fancy stuff.
I need to understand. If I'm going to do this, I need to understand this stuff better.
It's not a hard program to learn. I taught Michelle's opinions how to use it, so it's not too bad.
Okay.
But moving on, like I said, I want to congratulate you. What is one thing you have learned from the Mandela effect in these last 3 years on this on your channel?
For sure.
For sure.
One thing that I've learned for sure is I don't know.
I like that. That's honesty.
True story, man. I have my opinions. I have my theories, most of which are based on experiences. But like I said, you could have had the exact same experience and interpreted it a different way. I mean, it could have been that simple. Your perception may have been something different. You're only going to be shown what you can handle. I've heard that put a couple of different ways, and I understand that. It's like, well, why can't I have the answer now? Well, because I can't handle the answer right now. I can't handle the truth.
I feel the same way too. A lot of times trying to figure it out, I'm like, well, maybe I just couldn't comprehend the answer if I had it yet. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah. And I shut things down too a lot in my mind because I don't do it on purpose. I just get wrapped up in physical reality again. I'm going with the flow, and I'm consciously saying, all right, don't fight this, let it happen. And then all of a sudden I get involved in 3D physical reality and I lose all that. And then I get involved in that, and that just, no, I don't do that. I have to snap back. And no, something's coming. I don't want to be pushed. I'll take a nudge from spirit, but I don't want to be pushed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to do what I'm supposed to do. I keep saying I'm supposed to get off. I've been all week. I've been just talking with people that are telling me and making me realize, first off, I enjoy this. I enjoy coming out and talking about my experiences and hopefully helping other people. I'm helping myself. I started out doing this for myself, listening to myself talk. Other people started to interact. Great, I'm helping other people. I just did this to find like-minded people or maybe figure it out. Maybe somebody new. You know,
I think that's the same reason we all started channel. See who knows what we can figure out.
yeah, and it's funny. This was mentioned on another channel or another show this morning that, you know, when you first get into this and you start to get serious, you don't know who to trust. Well, I'm opening up and I'm saying just trust everybody. It doesn't matter if they're putting out good information, even if they were there to watch people or to get involved and influence and manipulate and they throw a monkey wrench in it every once in a while, whatever. They're still putting out they're still reaching other people at some point. They're still going to reach somebody that's going to investigate, and so that would backfire as far as I'm concerned. And to be totally honest, I swear I think every single person that I am friends with on YouTube that I've been to their channel or whatever, I mark down as a show. Every single one of yous. I was so sure at some point, and I realized what was happening. Happened early on with some people I was listening to, and I thought, oh, well, you know what they did? They said something I didn't agree with. So this was one of my very early lessons with the Mandela effect and learning this stuff. This is one of the things that I learned early on. Just because somebody said something I don't agree with does not mean they're a shill. Okay.
Right.
And that, you know, this we're talking 2016 when I was first doing this. So I was getting rid of channels, bringing channels back up, putting, you know, and just say, oh no, I don't like what this guy. I'd say most of the people probably at one time or another, I thought, oh, they're a shill. Till I came to this realization that, and this was not easy, to actually listen to somebody that I see, I can't even put it that I just didn't agree with completely, and I had to
Right.
listen to them. And I wanted to say that I wanted to listen to somebody that was totally wrong. Well, yeah, I could sit here and go, yeah, they were totally wrong, and I think they were full of crap, but I don't know that. Okay, so I can't say that. I don't know what these other people experienced. How dare I? And that really taught me a lesson with the just because, you know, we're not going to get through this if we're all going, no, it's not your way, it's my way. No, I have the right God, you don't. It's not going to work that way. Okay, we don't all have to agree, but at least we have to listen to each other. And
Absolutely.
because there are people out there I completely disagree with, think they're totally wrong. Well, my head's going to explode if they're totally right because I don't know what it is. So how can I don't know that they're wrong. So I try and listen. Some stuff's hard to listen to. I interviewed some guy last night, or I did the video 2 nights ago, I guess, and put it up this morning with the pilot, talking with the pilot, and him explaining to me the Terminator and Light and Day and all this, and my ears were bleeding. I was like, I just don't want to hear this gobbledygook because I don't understand it. But I was polite and I let him talk on the camera, and I let everybody do that. I try not to interrupt people when they're talking. I did that in early videos. When I was interviewing people, I would interrupt them. I don't do that anymore. Now I let them talk because I don't know, you know, and I want to hear what they have to say. But that was
there's a couple of channels that I question. I've been kind of public about some of them. I know that. But I will go back and listen to some of these channels sometimes. And sometimes the information is spot on. A lot of times I question it, you know. But it is sometimes that we have to go back and listen to those we don't necessarily agree with or necessarily like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can't make this personal ego stuff. It can't be. This is supernatural, paranormal shit going on, people. Let's worry about who's right, who's wrong, who found what, who found this, who found that. No, absolutely not. Okay, absolutely not. Um, I've often said this. Anybody wants to go into my channel and take some information, that's fine. You want to give me credit, that's fine. If you don't, I don't care. If it's helping somebody else, do what you got to do with it.
Here, here.
I'm not.
Here. I found the channel the other day, took some of my stuff and uploaded it. And that's fine. I've always said share my stuff far and wide. Please put the information out there. I don't monetize. I can't monetize. There's no way I'll get paid for it if I do.
You can't? They won't let you monetize?
Every time I've hit the monetization, they move the field goals on me to where I can't reach it. Then I'll hit that field goal and they'll move it again. So I'm done. I'm tired of playing the YouTube.
To me, I put it up once to monetize, and I needed like 1,000 subscribers and all these other rules. And when I finally got to that point, I tried it, and I thought, it just didn't feel right. I took it to me because I'm like, well, I have a job, I'm making money, I'm not doing a lot of videos. Right. If they like my stuff, they could say thank you. I mean, that's how I was in the beginning before I wrote the book. Right. And I'm like, I don't care. It's to me, it was I'm being called. And I'm answering. And, if God wants me to make a buck on it, God will throw me a buck. I mean, I don't really think I have to do it through this. I want the information out. Yeah.
So let me ask you another question. You live up in the mountains like I do. And I know you're surrounded by a lot of the Rocky Mountains and whatnot that have the gems and crystals and whatnot in them. There's a lot of them growing these mountains around us.
Yeah, I should be grabbing more of those, huh? No, I go out and buy them. Go ahead.
So let me ask you, do you feel that because you live in such an area, you're able to manifest maybe just a little easier because of the energy of the crystals and whatnot around you?
No. Or yes. Okay, I'm gonna say why, because it was a conversation I just had with Nobleness and Armor Up. To me, the crystals, stones, rocks, minerals are just reminding me of the energy I already have inside me. Just like somebody having a magic wand, they don't need the magic wand. Okay, they could do it themselves. That's what that little conversation was about. Excellent that you brought that up, because I have crystals and stones all over the place. I love these things. I got my organite out on the porch. This is the stuff that keeps the radioactive waves away. I forget what that's called. I got my black tourmaline, so I'm set. And I got some big stones here. I enjoy them. I think they're nice. They're pretty. I got into rocks and stones and their energies long ago, back in the 80s. I also often wanted to do like stone massages and stuff, get one or learn how to do them. I was very into that. But like we were talking, I always said that. I said, the energy is already inside you. The stone, the crystal just reminds you.
I call it a focus tool, honestly. Just like the wizards and their wands or whatever the case may be. It, to me, is more of a focus tool to focus your energy, and maybe even some of them have a tendency, like the quartz, to magnify it and send it back out. Like I've got a smoky quartz and a clear quartz, and I'm different like energies when I wear them. I found some, one can magnify a little better than the other as far as manifestation goes. Have you found that?
Well, I think what you're feeling is that energy in you that the stone is reminding you have, so that gets built up. That's just how I say it. Around here, yeah, they say Colorado is very spiritual like that with the stones, and I've had a couple conversations. One girl was telling me this, I forget the name, says people come here and have experiences. Like, I don't know. I thought that was Arizona or the vortexes and stuff. I want to check out the vortexes, but I think they help, and I think has a lot to do with your beliefs. If you truly put your belief and faith in that, and you truly believe it with no doubt, it's going to enhance. It's going to help. It's going to. I mean, if we dissect it the way I believe, you're just going to bring all that energy you have inside you out because of that reminder from the stone. So sure, I think that works.
Nicely put, sir. Nicely put. So let's switch topics a little bit. I did a video I guess a couple of days ago, maybe even, I don't even think it's been a week. And it was debunking the Grand Central Station, Grand Central Terminal Mandela effect.
Yes.
And you and I kind of briefly touched on this before the show.
Mm-hmm.
What has been your experience with this before we touch on what I did in the video?
What was my experience with this Grand Central Station? When I first saw it, I said, oh, no, it's absolutely Grand Central Station. Did a little bit of investigating on it, found that from what I read, and I've heard other things already, so something could be going on, because what I read was Grand Central Station was another railway or something underneath Grand Central Terminal, and it was always Grand Central Terminal, but because it was called Grand Central Station back in the 20s or 30s or whatever, people just carried that name with it. It was, and then it was Terminal. They decided on Terminal. So I'm just thinking, all right, I guess it's just like people just handed it down, and even though it was Terminal, it's always just remained station from people's memory. So is that a Mandela effect? And I believe you postulated that no, it's how did you word it? That it's not a Mandela, it's a fake one, or somebody planted it, or something like that. And is that right? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
So what I was basically getting at is people are taking the lack of knowledge, lack of people being in New York, and using it against us. If I show you a picture that says terminal and say it used to say station, you guys remember station? It says terminal, and it's two different places. I could probably easily convince you, just like most of the community, oh crap, it's changed. Look at the sign.
Right,
look.
We were talking about that too. The influences behind somebody just having a personal Mandela effect. Now, that's what I wanted to ask you before we even get into this. Do you believe people can have personal Mandela effects?
So I have to, because I've had a couple of my own.
Okay. I have to. It's Photoshop because it has to be.
Right. Like I went and opened up a package at work one night, package of insulation, fiberglass insulation to put on this base where I work, this metal base, So I opened it, I took my pieces out, get them all sprayed up, put up, get to do the next base, go back to get another one out of the package. The package completely sealed up, never opened, not a thing missing out of it, nothing. The rest of them still around, the same amounts there, the whole 9 yards. Like I'd never touched the package.
Wow.
And I had a witness with me who was there when I opened the darn thing.
Wow.
So I've had little inconsistencies like that, so I can't deny personal Mandela effects to that degree.
Yeah,
then you got the Centralville from Stavely,
right,
who I went into that laughing. I went into that very like, oh, come on, whatever. As a skeptic, I try to stay all the time. I went into that very, whatever, come on. The amount of evidence he presented and the phone calls and everything, I had to relate, oh my God, dude, this is amazing,
Right. Right. That's one of the ones that started. I was listening to Brian periodically, and then I caught on to he did some interviews with some big people that opened, and as far as I'm concerned, opened up their minds, whether they believe it or not. Bigger channels, which I think is big. We got to spread this. My last interview, I'm interviewing this girl. They're younger, so they're not really picking up on them. And I finally went, well, I got to go to the bread and butter. Berenstein Bears. And she goes, oh, the Mandela effect. And I was like, wow. So you know about the Mandela effect. And she's like, yeah. And she started giving me her opinions. But at the same time, she knew about it, but it's not like she's into it.
Right.
I mean, what did she just blow it off as a conspiracy? And that's what she kept saying. It's a conspiracy. I'm like, do you understand the definition of conspiracy? You've experienced this. It's not a conspiracy, okay? It's something's happening. A conspiracy is not something you experienced this. So I guess what she may have meant was somebody's doing it on the outside. I opened her eyes to that a little bit differently. You could see it in the video. Because I'm like, explain that. Explain this. Explain this. She goes, well, I can't. I just know it was STEIN. And I said, but it's always been STAIN. So how do you explain that?
How do you reconcile that in your head?
It's a conspiracy. Well, she don't. Basically, she's accepting it that it's going on, which I guess I haven't really seen this. This could be that passive negativity that I think it was Awaken was talking with me about. she's accepting it, but blowing it off, going back to her reality, her life. She's got things to take care of. So physically she's in that, but she accepts it. But when she needs to justify it in her head, she said, it's just some conspiracy. That's what she was doing.
I've known a couple people like that. They haven't went to the point of it's conspiracy. And I like what Stavely says again. The Mandela burglar is not breaking in, changing your stuff. It's not the way it works.
Yeah. Who came into my house and changed my Interview with a Vampire DVD?
Right? And my Febreze bottle. Who in the world is messing with my Febreze bottle? Really? Of all the things you could have took, you changed out my Febreze bottle for a generic, really? Like,
right. Yeah, I know. And I love the people that are swearing they have Jiffy peanut butter in their shelf right now. No, not Jif. It's Jiffy. I have Jiffy. I'm telling you right now. I said, well, you go home and you get it and bring it back. Okay. Because they're like, we just shopped. We just went shopping and we got Jiffy. And I said, I'm telling you, it's going to say Jif. Well, I've never seen those people again.
Oh, I love it. I'll tell them, please, if you have a Jiffy jar, show me. You have a rare piece of evidence. I would love to see it. And like you said, they had to disappear after that.
Hey, I've done this. You know what I've done with a couple of people? And I'm not sure this is a good idea. There was an older couple sitting down and we were talking and I was bringing up some Mandela effects, trying to keep it light. I did it a different way. We were talking about the yield sign. Now, I hate going there because the yield sign to me reminds me of what you say about the station and the terminal thing, because in 72, it was yellow.
Right.
But why do we all, I remember seeing it though. I mean, there might be other people that remember seeing Grand Central Station, then it would be a different thing. But it's always said Grand Central. I don't hear anybody saying, no, I remember seeing the sign station. I don't hear anybody saying that.
Right.
If somebody said that, it'd be different. Because with the yield sign, I remember seeing it. Okay. I remember seeing it flat out. So is it kind of the same thing? I went off on another topic.
Well, let me touch on station one more time, and I'm glad you brought it around.
Yeah.
There's another issue I have, and until I can reconcile this, I can't call it a real effect. And that's the fact that I can look up on Google Maps, and I showed this at the end of the video, Grand Central Terminal on 41st Street, Grand Central Station on 42nd Street. If I can physically see there's two different places, I can't call this an effect.
Right. Do you think that it's possible that the person that started this, okay, let's just assume they weren't just planting some trash to twist things up.
Right.
Is it possible it could be a personal Mandela effect for them and they went out to say, hey, this is a real one, and it's just not clicking with everybody else?
That's a possibility. I'll give it that. Perhaps it's in the middle of change and I'm wrong.
And that's another thing. It could be in them, but we've seen that. We've seen stuff just kind of stagnant in the middle of a chain. There's still another one with the spelling of whiskey. A lot of us caught that when it caught that, whatever it was. The word whiskey spelling is spelled two ways. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it's the Europe way and the American way. And I disagree, because I'm looking at whiskey bottles that are all made in America and they're spelled two different ways.
Really?
One has EY, one does not have the EY. One's just Y.
I figured it would have been the H. Okay.
And yeah, Absolute's missing an E. I do remember when I was younger, before I was old enough to drink, it was Absolute with an E. Liqueur spelled differently.
See, I thought they dropped that in marketing years ago. I got to go back and look. That's an assumption, but I do remember the E.
Could be. Oh, you do remember the E?
At one point that I remember it wasn't. I thought, well, that's an interesting little marketing thing. It's pretty neat spelling it wrong. Whatever.
Yeah, sure. Also, Johnny Walker. Most people I talk to remember Johnny with a Y. It's always been IE.
I've watched that one flip and flop. That's another one.
I'm not a
cool. So I'm not big on that. That's another one I sit on the sidelines and watched. When it went to IE, and then somebody come out with a video, I guess 2 months ago, it went back to Y. Oh my God. Okay, you guys win.
Whoa. You're going to make me downstairs and check the bar. That goes back to Y. You know, it's not, see, it's so funny because I'm like, why do I need another Mandela effect to prove to me physical reality is not what we've been told? I don't need another one. But if one like that came up, I can go back on a video and see where I was showing people going, see, it says IE. And this thing's going to show Y on the video, and I'm saying IE? That's pretty big.
I've had a video change. I was doing one about the Suez Canal coming up through from the Red Sea. So they added the Suez Canal. And at the time it was gone, there was like the whole body of water gone. I'm pointing at the map going, look, guys, there's nothing here. It's desert. There's no water here. A week later, I'm looking at the same video, and the river is just flowing right behind me, right where I'm pointing. Going, there's nothing here. See, like I'm trying to gaslight people. See. There's no water right there. Where see the water?
And that's not what you were showing. That's just weird.
Exactly.
That's just bizarre.
It makes us look like a bunch of gaslighters in the end.
Well, that's the other thing. I remember filming a yield sign. What I filmed was, are you ready for this? It was a red diamond. No, I filmed the yellow diamond. Did I film the yellow diamond? I filmed the yellow diamond. End up being, when I look at the video, it's a red upside down triangle. And that same night I was driving by a red diamond yield sign. It was December 2017 in December. And that whole month, yield signs were red diamonds for me. I'm the only person that's ever said that, and I'm sure it was just for me. I was the one screaming months before about the yellow yield sign. Now the Mandela effect's talking to me. Boom. There's a red diamond. What are you going to do with that? And I saw this and didn't film that. I did film the yellow one that I saw, and it's an upside down red triangle. But this red diamond, I'm the only one that's nobody's ever said. I can't find nothing anywhere. Same thing with the Ford logo. When the first time I noticed the curly Q, it was on the top line of the F. Never seen that before or after. But it did bring my attention to it. And then I'm going, was that little curly Q there? I don't ever remember seeing that. So that big one said, hey, wake up, dude, look at this. And I went and looked at that. This other one saying, look at the yield sign, buddy. You know, these things they were coming out at me a little bit stronger, a little bit more obvious, but nobody else was seeing those. So I'm wondering if that was just, hey, Mandela effect talking to me saying, hey, or spirit, or whatever we want to determine what it is, because I don't think, personally, I think it's a mixture of natural and manipulated.
Well, the effect definitely has a spirit to it. We've seen this quite a bit. SMQ has seen this. Chick has seen this.
Yeah, I like them guys.
Every time we get close to something, an MO will change. Every time we get something pounded out, all right, this is what's up. We've got evidence. It'll suddenly be worthless. It'll change his whole game. Like it's like it knows when we get close to an answer, get close to something, everything just flips.
Is it helping us or hindering us? Because it seems like both. It's like sometimes it'll smack us in the face and say, nope, you're wrong, like the red diamond. Or, it might kind of nudge you in a direction and go, hey, check this out. Is it helping or hindering? I mean, this energy behind the Mandela effect. And like what it is, don't think that's important. I think it's important if it can be maneuvered, used, then I think we need to learn how to do that. And I think if they're doing it, I'm not saying we all build little CERNs in our living rooms. Could you imagine? You buy your own little Hadron Collider. $9.99. Act now, get two for $9.99. Give one to your friends.
Easy setup, no batteries required.
Right? Just dig 6 feet underground. You don't have to go 6 miles.
So let me ask you this: with flip flops, one weird thing we see with the flip flops in videos is that, like, say Victoria's Secret. Here's a great one. So everybody puts up videos. Hey, it's missing the S. It's missing the S. It's missing the S. The S comes back, and then all of a sudden, these videos where everybody swore the S was missing is gone, can't be found. Do you think these people are deleting the videos, or do you think the effect is literally cleaning up after itself?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's cleaning up. I think if I'm going to break it down in my terms, your consciousness is shifting to a timeline where that video wasn't made. I don't think people are. I don't think that there can. I mean, could there be 12 people, 20 people on YouTube that are into the Mandela effect going, hey, in a couple months, we're going to delete a bunch of videos? I'm sorry. I don't think they're into it that. I don't think they need to do that. I don't think that's what this is about. I think there's things happening, and it's like when people are like, oh, the evil factions are doing this. Well, I'm like, well, why would they do that? They don't have to do that. For instance, and I don't even want to bring this term up, the chem things. I like to call them chem things. You know, those lines in the sky that look like that are actually official clouds now. Somebody said that they have micro robots in them and they're floating in the air, and there's no chance that you don't have at least one in your system. And I'm thinking, oh, stop. That makes absolutely no sense at all. Why would they do that to themselves? That's what they do. Well, they're immune to them. Okay. They could kill us off another way. They could watch us another way. They're not going to do that. That just doesn't make sense. I think with those things in the sky, I think they're hiding the sky. I think that they're hiding something on the other side of the sky. And I've just come to this recently because I really didn't know what to think about it, because I kept getting, oh, there's lithium in there and they're making us docile and just making us go along with the program. And I'm like, well, then they're doing that to themselves too. Okay, they're you know, that doesn't make any sense. What would make sense is if they're hiding something, and you know, and that's probably the case. At least that's what I came up with.
Yeah, that's one part that doesn't make sense to me with the chemtrails either, is they're breathing the same air. Unless they've got some kind of concoction that stops them from any effects that may be garnered from whatever they're dropping, which I'm not going to say it's impossible. But
no, it's still on the table.
Right. But unless they've got like the antidote they're taking daily, they're breathing the same crap we are. Yep. I don't think they would put that much in effect in place. You know what I mean?
And they could do it other ways, please. You know, they've done it other ways. So that whole thing doesn't make sense. That's fear mongering to me, kind of.
Right.
You know?
Now I could see them creating a thicker atmosphere to hold in and create a global warming or a global cooling situation to say man did it to get more money.
They probably have the tech to do that. Probably have the tech to do that if they wanted. I don't know. Do they? Or is this something that's coming in? Did CERN open something up to where these energies outside of whatever we're around in can actually interact now?
Do you honestly think it's CERN, really? Do you think they have something to do with it? Or do you think
I don't think they created it. I think they have believed that they could manipulate it. And I believe they probably scratched the surface and may have tweaked things, manipulated. I don't think they know what they're doing. I mean, they know what they're doing better than I do, believe me.
Right, of course.
Saying as far as them experimenting with their saying, I think it's just theories that they're just trying. Let's see. I mean, heck, if you're not afraid of anything, let's see, man. Let's see how far we can go. And then you get that far, and what are you going to do? You're not going to stop. You're going to go further. Let's see how far we can go. I mean, that's a scientist view, and I kind of understand that. So right. I don't think I think, honestly, I really believe it's natural. I think we are multidimensional beings, and we can only experience part of the infinite and quantum, and because we're physical. I don't think there's any other physical realms. I think this is it. No matter what shape it is. I just think, it doesn't really matter with that, because it's about what's in your perception.
Right.
It's about what I can see. You know, I think it is natural, and I think whatever I say CERN. It could be D-Wave. It could be other things. I don't know.
Right.
But when I say they, I guess that's what I mean. Why are all these governments joining CERN? They're all joining. I mean, come on. I think they've learned how to manipulate it.
They all of a sudden don't argue. When it comes to science, they're on the table. Everything else, they're fighting. You know.
They either learned how to, or they're learning how to manipulate, or they feel they can. And I think they may have done some things to screw some things up, and where they may have shifted some things to stop people from seeing the truth, or they're trying to, and they're not succeeding. But if they have anything to do with it, I think they're just manipulating it. What's already been here.
Well, I'm glad you brought up science, because one theory that I really, really, really don't like, and haven't liked for a long time, is the simulation theory. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It makes me feel creeped out. I don't like the idea that we're all great big simulations. Because when I punch this wall, it hurts. That's not simulated. I feel that. But science says hey, it's very, very likely we're all in one great big game of The Sims inside of a game of The Sims inside of that. What do you think about that idea that they could be all a great big simulation
I've
idea?
often I thought I just heard my cat. I often thought that that was a possibility. I don't like the idea. It's definitely on the table. I can't take it off. I can't prove that's not what it is. I mean, if it's a computer program glitching, all bets are off. Anything can happen. Anything, and it's well, it's a computer glitch. I mean, that answers everything.
Why would it keep glitching? And if that is the case, what could the end game be? Like we already know, and then I guess it goes back to Theseus paradox. How
Pull the
much of
plug.
a boat can you change for you have a new boat? You know.
Yeah, pull the plug. I guess I don't know what the end game would be. Just gonna keep it. If it's going to keep glitching at this pace, it's still going to be 1,000 years of whatever time is. It's still going to take a while, but just going to get more noticeable. I mean, if it's glitching like that, there's just going to be pieces of things you're looking at. There's going to be nothing there. I mean, it would just be blank. I mean, I don't know. I'm speculating. I don't know what it would be like, but I don't really lean in that direction.
Right.
But it does answer every question. It does answer everything. I mean,
And that's something else is bothersome to me about that. And it's things like that that really get me because like the TV's watching you conspiracy. That when I said, okay, guys, now that's a little bit crazy even for us. Come on, now your TV's watching you. Hey, let's get real here, guys.
every TV, every computer, even though it says it's shut off, is still actually recording. And you know what? Who's to say?
A couple years ago, Julian Assange dropped the paperwork proving that your TV's watching you, and I went, "Oh crap! All right, you win."
That's it. So I mean, that's how come when Shungite, that's what this is called, Shungite. I was talking about Shungite. Probably did a search on Google. Next thing I know, I pop on YouTube and I got Shungite commercials coming up.
Really? I tell you
So
what, man, it's getting so bad. I ain't even got to type anything in. I think of something, go to Google, type two letters, and it pops up second suggestion what I was thinking.
yeah, well, because they say the computer is getting to know you. It's learning, right?
It really is, and I'm talking about random thoughts or what I would think were random
And
thoughts.
that's fine if it was only humans. Only humans, only good humans, only unmanipulated humans. I don't even know what this. I don't even know how to describe it. If we weren't influenced in any way, we'd be fine. We could sit there and give AI all the info. It'd probably be great. But there's other crap going into AI. So I mean,
Right, there's agendas, just like everything.
yep, that is true.
So, this one question I ponder a lot is when it's all said and done, what is reality going to look like? It's not going to look like we remember it, that's for sure. Like the Bible. There's people reading the Bible now, getting into the Bible now, that are reading a different book than we learned to read.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just so. And one of my questions was, how do you? The answer was faith, and I'm back. I think the answer was faith, and I'm back to understanding faith a little bit better with my creating, because I was so against faith because it was so attached to the word religion, and I realized, wow, I'm using faith with my creating,
Right.
because if there's any little bit of doubt, like we said, it's gone. Where was I going? Got a lot on my mind, man.
You know that way.
I was. I definitely am, because I thought I heard my cat, and as some people know from the other stream, my cat's still missing. He's probably in the basement. I've been down there 3 times. He's a talker, and he will not talk. So, and it's just about time for him to start screaming for some food. So
After 3 years,
yeah, go.
if you could give advice to a person just coming into the Mandela effect. You've been in it 4 years now, had a channel for 3 years, got a lot of information on your channel. You've learned a lot in the last 3 years or so. From behind you, clearly you've gained a whole lot in your Mandela effect hoarding sessions. What kind of advice would you give a new person that just found the effect after this long in it?
Oh, I'm in this long. See, that's the thing. They'd have to be in this long too to understand what I even have to say. Um, I'm not going to go right up to somebody, tell them about this stuff, and say, "Hey, remember where you are," because from a spiritual aspect, for me, I am now existing in a false reality. I'm not so much false, but it's just not what I was taught. It's not what I was told, and my beliefs have changed on that. So for me, I know it's not real. I don't know what real is, okay? But I know this isn't what I've been taught. So, when stars start falling from the sky, which is how I interpreted my star and spirit experience, but if Armageddon or the skies open up, okay, or if some really super paranormal bizarre crap happens, I'm going to sit there and get within myself and go, okay, I know this shit ain't real. I mean, that's, to me, that I would want to tell. Just remember, you're in a Sims game. I know that you're not, but it's somebody would understand that better.
More analogous, yeah.
You're in something that's not real. This isn't what you were told. You don't have to, and then they're just going to want to get back to their bills and picking the kids up at school and everything else. But that's what I would tell them. Just remember, it's not real. I mean, but that's after all the experiences and knowledge I picked up. So they're not going to just jump on that. They're going to have to go through all that stuff as well.
Of course.
Because me just coming out and telling people, really all this is doing, I hope, is having other people search more and look into it more and see that other people are also going through what they're going through. I ain't here to tell anybody what it is or what to do.
You have any defined path you're headed with your channel right now? Do you have a certain place you want to go in a year, 6 months, or is it still just random videos what I can record and get up there?
That's what I've kind of been doing. I've tried to steer away from Mandela effects because I feel like it's all a trap. I really feel like mud floods, Paul is dead, mud fossils, giants, all flat Earth, all possibly, probably true. Still a distraction. If you can, even the chasing Mandela effects would be a distraction, because if you can shift your consciousness into a timeline more to your liking, you're just stuck in a trap. By chasing these things. And I think, and I'm not talking about like channels who report on these stuff, because there's going to be new people coming in. And Brian Stavely even mentioned, look, we're not going to be able to just have shows for beginners. We're not just going to be able to have shows for people who have been around for 3, 4, 5 years. You're going to have to mix it up. So if a new person comes onto your channel and they're getting all this advanced stuff, they might not want to listen to it right away, or they might want to and just take it with a grain of salt. There's different levels of this now, and that could cause more separation. So the people that have been into this the longest, and I think need to do a roundtable just once in a while, just to say hi. I don't even think we need to talk about Mandela effects.
Right.
We don't even have to talk about this stuff. We could just get on, say hi. We all have something in common. We all know something's wrong. That's it. We all know something's different.
So have you seen the CIA documents on the Gateway Project and the holographic universe?
SMQ's channel, he did that? Yeah. Yeah, I have it downloaded on my computer. I went through it. I studied the Monroe Institute back in 80s, 90s, say 90s.
That's my next question. Have you been there? Have you studied it?
No, I very much wanted to go to Virginia Beach. I believe that's where it was. I had all these plans to do it, but physical reality got in the way. Had all these plans to go down there at that time. What I loved the stories, or the story that I heard. You go there, you sit in a group with a bunch of people you've never seen before, and you feel like you've known them all your whole life. And it's the first time you walk into this thing. And one lady said, something happens. I don't know what it was, but something definitely happens. I'm like, okay. Something I always thought about. I was real close to it before. I'm not now. So sure. Boy, all the ballparks I could have went to when I was out east.
Yeah, we're in the wrong side of the country for that right now. Which, who knows? We may all find ourselves back east. Who knows?
I don't know. I heard the Scallion. Is that the guy Scallion? You remember him? I can't remember his first name.
Rip Scallion?
Say that again?
Rip Scallion?
No, this guy was something scallion, and he came out with this map of the future. Denver's the seaport.
Oh yeah,
He
I've
said
seen
that was
a
all
lot of
supposed
those
to
maps.
happen in
Yeah.
2003. I mean, hey, who's to say it didn't happen in another timeline? I mean, I don't want to stretch it like that, but
Well, you go back to the '90s, and a lot of the abduction cases of the time were talking about they leave the people with all these horrible maps in their heads of all the natural disasters and the destruction of the earth, and America's going to be three different continents. I'm sure you've seen all the maps from the abduction.
so that was just what, fear mongering?
It makes you wonder: was it that, or have we changed timelines since then? That
Okay.
does bring up a good question.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. I mean, we see the Earth changes. I mean, some of us do. We have people reporting on it. Lone Eagle, Novelist D, John Levy, UAP. All these people are putting out stuff on mass changes, and so yeah, we've definitely seen some changes. Is it a shift? Probably. I mean, it's like I don't want to say this, but everything is a Mandela effect if the way it's termed, if we shift our consciousness every nanosecond, like I feel. If we're shifting all the time, then everything is a change. But you don't want to label everything as a Mandela effect. We would be kooky. There would be nothing to talk about.
Well, I think we can agree to disagree on the shifting as far as when, and whether it be nanoseconds or when we get the shift indicators
It
or
doesn't
every
matter.
time.
Yeah,
Right,
it's not
right.
important. There's a lot
Yeah,
of
those
things
are
I break
semantics.
down. I break down so many things. It's just the analytical mind in me. I will break everything down to the bone because I want to understand it as best I can. I don't really need to. I don't need to be breaking this down the way I do, because the way I break it down is we're all in our own dimension and we're all interacting with each other because we're within the same timeline, within those parameters. But there's branches off everywhere, so you could be in the same dimension in a different timeline. I mean, it gets so intricate. What's the point? I'm still here. you know,
Right.
I'm
Wherever here may be, right?
right. And if we do get a handle on that and understand it and actually be able to shift and create, and maybe we'll be shifting into the past, like I think as people have done. Um, unless of course that Barron Trump book was planted, which I don't know. Unless Pink Floyd was planted, I mean, I don't know, because these
You're talking
people,
about a super long game if that's the case.
but that's all they know is super long, long, man. These things have patience.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I said that in a couple videos ago. I'm like, everybody's talking about this mud flood and how every so many years we're reset, and I'm like, and this Tartaria comes up, and that looks like a pretty nice civilization to me. Looks to me like we were infiltrated over thousands of years. It's like they came in here and slowly took over, and I thought, yeah, because that looked like a beautiful evolved human life that we were creating. And then all of a sudden we started this crap with the beautiful buildings and architecture and everything we had. Why would we
Oh, there was
end up
a
living like
beautiful
that?
empire.
Why would we live like that, knowing that we're just going to cover it in mud, start over, and other people are going to claim this as theirs? And, like the Egyptians did with the pyramids. That's the way I see it now. I don't know if that's true, but that's the way I see it.
Well, I like a point you brought up back when this information started coming out. With Tartaria, I can't deny that. CIA's admitted that was a full cover up. They
Oh,
completely
really?
from
Wow.
history. Yeah, it's in the library. Like I have to go with that. That was real. That's not even a question anymore. The mud flood, I have a problem with the whole global flood idea because I don't see it in the geological record.
You don't see the what?
I don't see it in the geological record. You being out here with me, you can go to the Painted Desert. You can go to the stacked areas. You can see the geological breakdown of all the different levels of rock. It's not in the geological record. There's no mud flood in the record. Local floods, I'll give local areas, but a global one, I have an issue with.
How would they announce a global one? How would you bring that out? Who would put out that information if everything was wiped out? Nobody's left to do that, right? Except Keanu Reeves. He's the only one, it seems to me, that
Well, it had
survived.
to be some of it left because here we are.
Huh? I just say that. I don't know why I'm messing with him. I don't know. Like him, and there's a handful of others I could name that I'm like Tom Hanks. What's up with all the Mandela effects with Tom Hanks? Why come everything he's involved in is a Mandela effect?
Holy cow! And he's doing a movie based on the Mandela effect already.
Right.
He's playing Mr. Rogers coming up.
Right. And there's discrepancies in that already. I mean, it cracks me up. I'm like, why? Is there a hint there? It's
almost like he's the poster child.
Well, yeah, and it's not just him. There's others too, right?
Not as many as him, though. He's got most of his movies, most of his lines.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff revolving around him and Fields, or Field, whichever one you want her to be.
S for me.
So I was going somewhere with this, and I forgot what my question was going to be. So to fill in time, where else you going to be tonight, Susso? You've got 3-4 channels covered now. You mentioned Stirrup, you mentioned Noble. Where are we going to be from here out, Michelle?
So far, everything's been working out great. Funny thing was, 7 a.m. I put on a video. 8 a.m. I had Awakened Saint. That wasn't set up. Honestly, 15 minutes before 8 a.m., I finally got a hold of him and knew I was going to do the show then. I mean, I just figured. I knew he wanted to do it. I knew he heard about it. I just couldn't get a hold of him. 10 o'clock, I did Nobleness D and Armor Up. Got you at 12. Michelle's Opinions is going to be at 2 p.m. We are going to end this soon. I'm going to take an hour to go look for my cat. That's really bugging me. I like the idea of Michelle's Opinions channel. She's brought up that we're going to do a call-in thing. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we get to change it up. And then I'm going to talk with Photo Helix at 4 p.m. Right after I'm done with Photo, that's probably only going to be about an hour long. So from 5 to 8, I'm going to be posting a couple of videos of my own top 20 biggest hits. Top 10 most hits. Then Unbiased and on the Fence at 8 o'clock. Looking forward to that. That's also going to be with, I forget her name already. It's me, Shane, and
Michelle Wolf.
No, I was hoping Michelle Wolf would jump on. This was I'm wanting to talk to her. Where are we at? There we are. Overprotected. I don't know if you know.
Overprotected. Okay.
I know her. I can never remember her screen name.
Right.
But yeah, she'll be on that show with me, and then Nobleness D's swearing he's going to get me on the Scarab channel, and I'm like, well, we were talking about it. That's why I got on the show 2 weeks ago, because we weren't sure if we are going to be able to fit him in, and I'm like, I want to be on it. I figured I'd just go and chat and troll his chat room. I'm kidding. He knows that. But yeah, he's going to get me on that show after Unbiased and on the Fence. I'll have to shoot right over there, and then when Dan's show's over, I'm going to be doing a show with Cowboy between 10 and midnight. So, and
I might, if they do a panel show, I might jump on with you on that one, actually.
Oh, that'd be cool. I'm sure I'll invite you on. It's actually the capital letter C and then the number 0 and then WBOY.
For those who don't know how to get to his channel, there you go.
It's actually a number. I think it took me 6 months to figure that out.
I didn't know it was a number either, so I just learned something. I was over there with him and Cupcakes the other night and hanging out. Him and E-Man Cakes, and it was lots of fun. Real quick, I want to do a shout out to the chat. We've got quite a few people hanging out with us today. So we got Bit of Venom, Data Junkie, Wascally Rabbit, Alone One, Brian Stone, Michelle's Opinions. Thanks for hanging out over here with us, modding up. Jay Holland 4, Brian Stone, Shell's Adventures, John Avey, Dominic Frost the Frosty. I think I've got Data Junkie mentioned already. Preliminal. We had Helen the Frosty here earlier. I'm not seeing any other new names in here. If I didn't get to, I apologize. Kitten 10333. I actually know who that is personally. I appreciate you stopping by here.
I believe Brian Stabley stopped in, right?
Brian Stone did. I haven't seen Stabley. Not to say he isn't here, but he isn't texting if he is. Shout out to Faith, Hope, Love. Shout out to Brian Stabley, all the Mandela Effect channels, everybody who does what they do. Susso, congratulations, man. 3 years on this.
Thanks. I hope somebody got something out of it.
I
Because now
absolutely
the direction I'm thinking about going in is just maybe open forums. And if I have something to post, I'll post it.
Well, I'll gladly jump on over there with you too. Is there any items you're missing right now for your Mandela effect pile?
These things back here?
Yeah.
Oh, I have about 30 of them over here. I couldn't find places to put them. I just
are you finding you're over hoarding, or you got to get a bigger place now? You move some stuff out, or
I just stopped doing it. I had it set up better where it was nice, where you see in the beginning of my videos where Prince lifts his head up, and that's the one that's missing, by the way. And that's where I had it in the setup nice. Took all that down, and I just threw this up because of today.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Like I said, we've got new system upgrades coming in the middle of next month. Whole new system. We're going to be changing the way we do everything here on the channel. It's going to be great. It's going to be like most YouTubers, a lot closer to Unirock setup where I can stream straight out of OBS. You guys look forward to that. We're upgrading like crazy right now. I'm spending so much money on this. It's incredibly killing me. I don't like spending money. I like saving money, you know. You guys check out Michelle's Opinions in an Hour, Photo Helix, Shane's Unbiased and On Defense channel, Scared Performance. I would hang out over there, but he's got me banned. Go figure.
Oh.
I don't know why. I mean, you talk against somebody and they ban you.
I'm sure it was a mistake.
Oh, I'm sure it was. And I'm sure it was just a slight oversight on his part.
Slight oversight. No big deal.
And Cowboy tonight, Susso's making the rounds. Susso, try not to talk yourself out of a voice tonight, my friend.
Yeah, I know. I'll feel a lot better once I find my kitty.
Well, good luck on your kitty. Congratulations on 3 years on YouTube, 4 years in the Mandela effect. And we look forward to having you here again really soon, my friend.
Great. Talk to you later. Thanks for having me on, man.
It's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Dark Wolf's Den. And remember always, stay awake, but dare to dream. Bye, everybody.